position.
Sorry.
So we nurture creativity and then we use it to innovate and solve problems in a diverse range. We're launching an app right now. We built a few virtual spaces to explore. That's why I'm here, by the way, just to be maybe more specific, is how to transition a few of our spatial projects into a new environment. So I'm very curious to hear about how Vertex might affect us. And one of those projects in specific is a virtual Sunday school, actually, for an entire organization, church organization that's pretty large. And so it's a future vision. And the question is where to build that since Spatial's closing down. And I'm kind of curious about what Vertex is. Is it maybe, because I'm completely clueless about it, actually.
Yeah, no problem. We're here. We do monthly meetups. Usually they're kind of tech focused, more techy, hands-on, how to work, and also we have Discord, which you can use to connect and ask questions, and we'll help you with development. And anybody else before I start? Thank you so much for sharing, Gregory.
Sure.
Anyone else? Hi, Nate. Hi, Says with Trees.
Hello.
Hello. Lance, I made you co-host. If you see somebody jumping in, I will just let them in. Sure. And it's going to be recorded so people can catch up later. All right, I'm going to start. Welcome to our monthly meetup. Today we're going to be helping to understand how to migrate from Spatial to Standalone, a beginner's guide to Vertex Form. So I have a short introduction about who we are because we do have some new people, and people again will be watching on YouTube later. So we are the XR developing infrastructure for enterprise and social. We help organizations build custom VR experiences fast. The core is open source. So if you are a studio and you would like to kickstart your development, you can get it on GitHub. It is not connected to us, so it's kind of standalone Unity package, which you can use. It's MIT license as long as you give credit to the original creator, original company. You can use it, distribute it, and build your own applications using the framework. It's been in development for about 3 years. We got hurt, like I personally, I'm also a creator. I was pretty big on AltSpace since 2019. Between 19 and 23rd, I was creating there. My passion is travel industry, so I was building environments and hosting events and working with educators in VR very closely. And then when they shut down, I decided that we need to have a cushion. We need to have a fallback option of like standalone package. And then we open sourced it, had hundreds of thousands of deployments and tests and engineers working on the package. And it's open source because we just want the community to build their own applications. So at our core, we have 3 kind of main pillars. It's built on Unity, so you do have to know Unity, which probably everybody knows because this is how spatial environments are built through the kit. This is how a VR chat is built. So Unity is one of the biggest kind of engines out there. We do use Photon Fusion, so we have the multiplayer provider. Again, they always on, right? You don't need to create your own server. You just take your API key, which is very easy to do. Just sign up for the API key, up to 20 free users there. And we did a ton of work to integrate it with our package. We did a ton of work to make every room you create you create a scene, and scene will be synced in multiplayer, so it's going to be also easy. Lots of examples that you can use right out of the box working. So, and then Kronos Group, so as long as they are like developing OpenXR, we use it because it's cross-platform. We now deploying on all VR headset. I mean, right now it's Meta, kind of we set up for Meta, but you can do Pico, you can do Samsung XR by importing their SDKs. We also supporting currently web, which is recently, right now we're polishing the web, doing kind of like all the things to do. maybe a couple of weeks. Well, when was it? Like a month ago, maybe we launched web support. Plus WebXR, we integrated Depanters package, WebXR support. So you put on headset, you go on the website, type in the address, and you will be able to go in VR through the web, plus mobile web, right? And in Unity, everything is done in the backend, so you only do like a couple of clicks to switch the platform before you create the build. And then, so the main difference, am I blocking people with this or no? Let me see if I can do like this. Oh, like that. Okay. So the main difference between Spatial and our framework is that we are the framework, we're not the platform. So you are the one who's going to build the platform or the app, right? Standalone application. So you can create something similar to Spatial for the community, and the difference is that it's also fully branded. It can live on your website. It can live under your app. And surprisingly, once you go through those hurdles of like the first steps to understand everything, it's not even that expensive if you are just building it to showcase. Again, we barely pay anything. The hosting, the name, it's kind of like everything is pretty cheap to begin with. And then the customization, fully customizable. When Spatial is covering the code kind of with low code, no code, we do give more freedom. You can either code or you don't have to code. It's up to you. And deployments, of course, it's, as I mentioned, VR headset and everything standalone app. When Spatial had, you had to go through them to get to your environments. And open source MIT license, they closed source, and when they shut down, everybody just lost the course. So the roots, they don't open source the roots, right? So as long as the roots pulled off, you cannot continue with environments or your apps. So what else? I'm gonna try to go faster. So how do we make money? So we have enterprise customers that we work with, because again, I am as an artist, we started this framework because to build tools for artists to work directly with customers. So this is the main point. And we do have clients that we work with from education to enterprise. And that means that if the company doesn't have enough resources to do it themselves, we do it for them, white glove service. They get deployments across all frameworks. Plus, we have a big range of engineers that can do pretty much anything from digital twins to replicating a factory, education, onboarding, training, you name it, right? You can do anything with Unity. So again, if you have any projects that you need help with, or you have customers in mind, send us them our way, so we'll be happy to work. And before I give it to Lori real quick, I want to go over a couple of example projects, and I'm sure she's going to be showing more. If you will go on our website, this is our main website. I'll drop it in the comments. And here we have access to the web hub, right? So this is our web hub. It lives on vertexform.io. Some of the environments, my environments are pretty big, and they're kind of like fancy and massive. So they not all run on WebXR on mobile. So we do have the special little thing we did that you can turn it on, and your customers won't be able to enter the environment if this is not a supportive platform. So it's all done also on the backend. But yeah, so this is one of the examples, and let me drop this link. Immersive hub space. For example, this is the factory training environment that we did also for just an example, like a mini game. You can come here in multiplayer and collect the pieces of this robot. It will show you how to do it, and then it will turn off the video, and you will have to go over it yourself to do it. And then the idea is that all the apps will have similar UI. And then we also have setting UI, and I'm going to let Lori do it more in details. And I will show you a couple of Other projects that we're working on, again, see, this is similar, UI is the same, lives on different website, fully branded for a completely different use case. This is for the Tech Alliance of South Florida, which we're building to connect outside of meetups, outside of events. Again, it can be private. We'll block it. I mean, we'll lock it with password, and only users who are approved or who have access will be coming here. And we created this nightclub, which is like we have music producers. They wanted a nightclub, and we decided, yeah, we're gonna make them a nightclub. So this is another example. And last one, my passion is the travel, of course. So this is going to be our flagship app. It's not officially launched yet, but this will be for travel culture discovery. And again, same idea. The framework comes with all this: connect with name, connect anonymously, how to make your environments, add your environments, switch environments, all that stuff. And then this is customized to be a little different. Oh my gosh, where do I put this? As you can see, we did it differently. We created edit map. We have countries, which we're working to bring different visitor centers here. So you can come in or you can go on tours. Right now, we're working on the map, the street view map that you can just like go travel, but I'm not going to go right now. And also we have a bunch of hubs here. So the idea is pretty much the same, but it's not set in stone. If you don't like it, you can do whatever you want, but just so much easier, right? Like all the systems, and Lori will probably explain to you.
You keep mentioning me, but you've got all the exciting visuals. I'm going to be talking about the boring ass links that Spatial sent us.
No, it's okay. But if you want to explore more, go ahead and jump into VertexForm.io. We'll be adding a lot more of the environments. And we do have a virtual reality hub as well. It's a little bit behind the web because we are very, very focused on the web right now. But in a couple of weeks, we're gonna, maybe like sooner, it will be also synced with the web. Currently, web is available through, I mean, VR app available through this link. Any questions?
I have one question.
Go ahead.
You had mentioned in the slide it said 20 or 23 users. Is that the maximum amount of people that can be in the space?
So yes, for free, right? If you will subscribe with the paid photon, depending on your use case, you can extend up to thousands of people. They do have metaverse package, which I have to. I'm not like, don't quote me on that, but last time I checked, it was about $100 a month, and then they give you up to 50, and then like per user overage. But if you have that many people that you want to host, then you probably have a way to monetize it and, you know, start building actual metaverse. But for fun, for like portfolio showcase, we don't pay anything. And it's up to the problem is, and I talk about it probably on every meetup, the problem with 20, we do get 20 from Photon for free, but because we want to see where people are, right? Like you see this 0 out of 10, we need to split it because it's kind of like, you want to see where people are, then you get 10 here and then 10 actual people in the space. So if there's a way, we did it in the framework, you can turn this option off. So you're not going to know where people are, but you can have 20 people at the same time. So we just have to like juggle those things.
Is all this hosted on a person's server, like a web server, or is it hosted somewhere else and then you just bridge it to your website if that's where the front door is?
Kinda like it's super easy to do right now. Most of my stuff is hosted on Versal. Some of my stuff is hosted on my regular host where you get your website. But Versal is the easiest. It's super easy. If you, for example, purchase your domain somewhere like namescheap.com, you can port it to Vercel, like just tell that this is my website and Vercel understands it. And then I will just push it, and then your website will have this deployment published. I don't even pay anything for Vercel. On our end, we do build a lot of tools that are going to make it easier for you to bridge this gap, and infrastructure, all that stuff that's going to be coming later. That will be something add-on for more advanced
What
applications.
is Vercel?
May
Yes.
I interject just a quick little paradigm reframe? Because if you're coming from Spatial, they handled everything for you on the back end, and Vertex Form 3D is a tool set that allows you to publish your content to your wherever you want it, and that's part of what the whole Photon thing is. Photon is what ran the multiplayer on Spatial as well, but they didn't let you have any control over that. And Vertex Form 3D has a scriptable object in Unity that allows you to enter your own Photon keys. So you're using your own Photon use concurrent user limits. And so that's what Evie was saying. If you want to pay Photon to increase the number of users in your space, that's on you, and that's also, you have the flexibility and freedom to do that. Photon has a very generous free 10 to 20 user limit, like out of the box, where you don't even have to put in a credit card or anything, and just when you max that out, you just don't get any more concurrent users for that time frame. So it's a lot more low risk than like Unity's services, which are basically like they bill you after you've maxed out all of your, they bill you for your overages. Photon doesn't work that way, but it is a completely independent third-party service that is not under Vertex Form 3D control, but it's Vertex Form 3D gives you all these tools to build your own. So your app could be a standalone app for your Quest headset that actually gets installed. But you can also visit. She also has a whole build pipeline for the web, so you can build to. If you have a web hosting that allows for WebGL builds, which it's not going to work on like Squarespace or Wix or something where you don't have you can't run code and you don't have any control over your page headers, because there's WebGL requires specific page headers in the HTML web page that your visitors land on, their entry point. And Vertex Form 3D allows you to build to multiple targets from your same Unity project. So you're starting in Unity and you choose whether you want to build your standalone app first and only, or if you want to build to web first and only, or if you want to build to both, then you have to do two separate builds and deploy and two separate deployments. And yeah, I just wanted to make that, because when you're asking the questions about what Vertex Form does, like Evie is using her own tools for her own client work, like building immersive and interactive experiences for her clients. And so that's what, when she's talking about what hosting, she's using Vercel to host. I use GitHub Pages to host. And you'll see when I show an example of how that works. But I just wanted to because if you're going into it from a different perspective, it can get really confusing.
It is definitely hard. It's switch. Like you can see people's brain is like, we can do this? Like people don't understand that we can. You can be your own platform. You can have an app as long as we have a tool for it, which we've been working on. I've been in this for 10 years. I know where everything is, like where the pitfalls are. I can predict things. And that, I mean, I don't want to sound like too arrogant, but like you can see patterns, right?
I've been thinking about it a long time.
Yeah. And I want to give you formally the things, and go ahead and let us know all your tips and tricks. Thank you so much, Lori.
Yeah, and I want to before I kind of introduce myself a little bit, I want to ask Gregory, was there any like outstanding questions that in that regard that
That sounds good, and it'll be good to be able to get connect to both of you. Lori, I think we're actually already connected on LinkedIn. And I'm now seeing the picture, and I think it's actually an exciting path to take to have your own sovereignty and not be leveraged to situations like Spatial. And there's other situations out there where what they do could close you down. So building your own app or your own web portal sounds actually exciting. So how do you pronounce your name, Evgenia? Is that it? Um, Evgenia, is that how you
You're
say
muted,
your
Evie.
Yeah, sorry. It's Evgenia, but you can call me
Evgenia?
Evgenia, yes.
Evie, okay.
Okay.
And I guess Evie, you would be the point person at
Mm-hmm.
Vertex.
Yep.
And how do we find your email? Because I'm going to have to leave in like 25 minutes or so.
Yep.
So it'd be great to have contact info.
I'm gonna drop my email and I'm gonna drop my LinkedIn.
But
Okay.
also go to Vertex Form 3D because there's a link there for joining the Discord, and the Discord
Yep.
is really a great way to asynchronously contact us, leave a message and somebody will get back to you within the day, and the whole community is there, people who are familiar with Evie's tools. So yeah. And I'm not, I've done some work with Evie, but I'm not like, I'm not paid for this. We're just friends and colleagues
Our community
and
started to grow. Like we
fans.
have a lot of tools that people have contributed now, contributing scripts, which is like awesome. They find stuff and something that we cannot find when they go into depth of and the community is growing. And we do need your guys' support to understand where the roadblocks are and help to improve them. Alrighty, I'm gonna mute myself. Thank you.
I guess I will share my, oops, not participants. How do I do that? Share.
Let me do your co-host. Hold on.
Okay.
Co-host.
Oops. So I just dropped my link tree in the chat. My LinkedIn is in there. That's where I prefer to connect professionally with, clients and colleagues and so forth. But I have so much going on that a link tree is helpful. Let's see. I want the whole window, entire screen. Okay. I think that Zoom has changed. I don't want to. There. Okay. So are you all able to see my
Yes.
my XR and LXD Vertex Form 3D?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna move that.
Yeah.
I always wind up clicking on the little scribble icon in Zoom calls. Lets you draw on the page, which is like, don't always want to do that. So my name is Lori Annis. I am a developer and XR 3D generalist. I have my own, it's a platform and toolkit called Unreality 3D. And if you go to unreality3d.com, you'll see it. It's a free Unity package that you can download, very similar to what Evgenia is offering, except it's like I started out only web. I don't offer like voice and chat. Evie's got a much more feature-rich set of tools, but our work is very complementary, and I'm often like directing people to Vertex Form 3D because of its expanded capabilities. The core one, the one that Evie launched first, is the ability to build your Unity experiences to an application that lives on your users' Quest headsets. And they get a link something like, let's see, I made this, I can share this. Anyone with the link can view. Short list of links for this talk. Because I don't, yeah, we're going to be in the development side, which is kind of dry and not all as beautiful as the things that you can create with this stuff. So I wanted to, sorry, I get derailed quite easily by my own self. I wanted to talk first about this email that most of us got. If you are coming from Spatial and you're looking at your options of, how do I keep my interactive multiplayer 3D experiences alive and make them shareable. I was going to say you get a link to something like this. And because I have deployed to alpha, it says alpha. That means like the channel is not fully
It's
released.
like a drop.
There's three. Yeah, there's three, or no, there's four. There's alpha, beta, something, and then public. And Meta allows you to, I'm showing my app distribution. So one of the things that you'll need when you're wanting to build with Vertex Form 3D tools to your own Meta app is the MetaQuest Developers Hub. And it gives you this app distribution tab that this is where you'll be creating a new app. You click the create a new app button. It'll open in Meta's browser thing. These are some of my experimental apps that I've made with Vertex Form 3D. Not all of them are in top-notch working condition. Well, none of them are because they're all in alpha. But you manage your releases through the MetaQuest Developer Hub online. And for this example, for this talk, I'm demoing or talking about my recent experience building the XR and LXD meeting space. XR in LXD, that's XR in Learning Experience Design, is a group that used for a few years spatial space. And you know what? I may want to go there just to show it off because it's helpful for context. But as you can see, Spatial is doing its thing these days. So XR and LXD. So this group would share this link in their Slack channel, and Terry, the group leader, would distribute the link on Slack and not advertise, but share on LinkedIn when meetups were happening and what speakers she would invite speakers to come. She's invited Evie and I and a whole host of wonderful VR, XR, learning design speakers to just come and do a talk, and we do all kinds of interesting interactive things. But this is their spatial space, and I'm my orange generic avatar now that they've killed all of my actual, like I'm one of my favorite things to do is making non-humanoid avatars, and so I have a bunch of silly ones, and you can temporarily enable them, but then as soon as you close out of your thing, you're back to this. So anyway, so Evie found I approached Terry because I want to help this group continue meeting every month and having some kind of a cohesive online 3D interactive meeting place. And I thought that Vertex Form 3D would be fantastic for it because it allows you to have both the app on your headset and the web, and in both you can be co-present. You can the meeting participants can all be in the same space, whether they're meeting through the mobile phone. Evie has you can press a button and it opens up instructions to install it on your phone, so you can have an actual app button on your phone that opens up the mobile experience. There's the web browser, there's the standalone VR app, and then there's the VR browser experience too. So like there's so many different ways that you can get in there, and I thought it would be a good way to preserve their ability to meet in a space. So I downloaded, well, Evie found a mesh that was available on CG Trader. And if you're a creator in 3D and XR, you probably are very familiar with this. You just go and download 3D assets, and then you arrange them in your Unity scenes, and then you do something with them. And when it was Spatial, we were using their SDK, and they had an entire kind of siloed off publishing pipeline, and we didn't get really any insight or control over the third-party services that they were using, and the the multiplayer, or any of sorry. So casting. I was going to talk about Photon a little bit. Well, I brought up my Photon. Don't be afraid of it. If you go to the dashboard.photon engine, you can sign up for a free account. You create apps with the Create App button. On that doc that I shared, a link to is a link to this little beginner guide that I drew up while I was building the Vertex Form 3D version of the XR and LXD meeting space. So I went step by step and then screenshot where, thank you. Screenshot where in the UI, each of these steps that Evie has laid out. So if you go to VertexForm 3D.com, and there's tutorials under setup. And so I followed those, and then I documented and tried to clarify anything that was confusing to me. And so, I'm not going to go over the beginner setup and install, as long as it's clear, where the starting point is. So you click to view on GitHub. It opens up the Vertex Form 3D GitHub, and Evie's been coaching me on how to best do this. And Evie, I started cloning, but I started this morning.
I give a quick heads up that next month we're gonna do the GitHub, the team collaboration, because it's important.
Working with GitHub.
Everybody's so scared of GitHub. I was so scared, but without GitHub, you can't really build. You're gonna be messing up. GitHub is really good.
Yeah. So my previous workflow, and that tutorial that I wrote, or basically translated into my own, this is how I understand it, and here's screenshots, is assuming that you've already done all these install steps. So my previous workflow was to come to the link, click on the big green code button, and then just download the zip. But Evie explained that it's better if you open it with the GitHub desktop, and that will open up. I wonder what it'll do to my current download if I try it. See, you have to give it permission. And then it pops open this to clone your repository, and you just navigate in your own hard drive to where you want your Vertex Form, your new project to live. It's an Unreal, or not, it's a Unity project.
If I could,
And
if it's a little, will be easier to just follow the copy those things so they don't get all our stuff. So with the copy assets, packages, and project settings, I think it will be just slightly easier for the beginners.
so Evie has guides on how to get to the point where you have a Vertex Form 3D project in your Unity folder, and she recommends putting it in the D drive. I happen to have a D drive on my desktop computer that we're on. I actually prepared for this whole talk yesterday on my laptop because it has it's less cluttered, but I wound up with my own personal laptop problems yesterday, so I'm a little panicked today when I started the talk. So we're looking at the login scene, and it looks a little different now than when you load up your own new Vertex Form 3D project. It'll probably open with a blank untitled scene, and you just need to navigate. I've made VF 3D scenes in my favorites over here. I don't know if my Power Toys will let me do a zoom. Darn. I used to have this little hotkey where I could zoom in on an area to point something like Control 4. Yeah. So when you are this is a folder that I added. It comes with all of the required, the Photon. ParallSync is a tool that lets you run lets you do multiplayer testing on your desktop without build and deploy. Um, and then my own migration tools that I added in here. So, and there's a link in that document to the migration tools that I use. But so there's a Vertex Form 3D folder, and that's where you'll be doing things. I recommend adding your scene content into the My Scenes folder that Evie provides. But every development and testing cycle, you'll want to navigate to the home scene first. And no, not Control 5, Control 4. Oh boy, I don't even know what Control 5 did. Oh, Gregory had to leave. Okay. Thank you for stopping in, and look forward to connecting. So, and the reason is that the login scene that Evie provides, and this is mostly what it looks like, but you'll have the Vertex Form 3D logo in the sky, and this is the entry point. You need to first open the login scene, run it in play mode, and then do the login. So you can either, as you can see here, connect anonymously or connect with a name. If you choose connect with a name, the keyboard pops up and you can type your name and you click enter. There's no authentication required at this stage. This is just it's a lobby to get you into the home scene. And then the home scene is where you can choose your avatar and the places that you can go. And you can leave it exactly as it is. I'm always like breaking and tinkering with things by changing things. So don't do what I do. I have to say that a lot, like do as I say, not as I do, because you will break things. And yeah. And then you'll add your own scenes just like any other Unity project. You'll either create a scene from scratch or you'll import it from somewhere, and ignore all that. I didn't put the sitting prefabs into a folder. It's not very pleasant to look at. But so you'll depend on your scene view for this, because the way the VertexForm 3D framework works, Evie has already created the player controller and avatar and camera system, so that it all works with the articulated hands in Oculus, in MetaQuest. It's Oculus. Anyway, the MetaQuest hands, and the controller controls and the camera perspective and your avatar body and torso or hand, body and head are all already functional. You don't have to tinker with that. So again, start in the Vertex Form 3D folder, the login scene, and you push play. And there is some setup, and it's covered in both Evie's tutorial and my secondary guide. So I'm not going to go through all of that, but okay, to get back to what I started with, we all got some form of, if you are coming from Spatial, you got this email saying that it's sunsetting, and at the very bottom there is a blue link that says download your assets. This is misleading, because all it does is downloads a PDF, and that PDF has a list of links. And if you've created on Spatial, you'll have a lot. And when you click download, it downloads this zip file that says export dash and a whole lot of numbers. So one of the things I recommend doing is being selective, choosing, and I already did this to start with so that you wouldn't have to sit through. So I clicked on this cozy reading cave, and when it asked me where I wanted to install it, I created a new folder in my downloads for that content, and then I named it that cozy reading cave. And all that comes in it is, depending on whether this space was one that you made in Unity through the SDK, then there may be a Unity package like you see here, and it doesn't have a name. It just says Unity source assets, Unity package. And then this scene data JSON, and I'll open it so you can see, but it's not very useful. And I pasted it to it doesn't even have line wrapping. I pasted it to Claude AI and said, what is this JSON file? And Claude says that it's it's just a very long. Claude says that it's a kind of a list of assets. It's not an asset itself, and it's not a comprehensive list either. The things that Claude described being in it were things like, it's a very simple space. It just has a wall and a portal to something else. So I think this JSON is unrelated to your content. And probably pretty useless. So what you'll want, if you created using your space using the Unity toolkit, is this Unity package. And so just to have it in here and to show you your workflow, you would right click somewhere in your project where you want this to go, and choose import package, custom package, and that'll open up the dialog. And then you can import the package just the way you would import like any Unity bundled asset. Maybe you got it off the Unity asset store. So it's basically as if they had right-clicked in their Unity project and chosen export as asset package. And yeah, so watch in this window for anything that's going to overwrite anything custom in your scene. I don't see anything here. There's textures, there's water, although this one, it might be a water that I don't want changed in my package or in my project. So I have some bad news that I want to share in between here. If you published anything through their web tool, as far as I can tell, it's gone. Because it's so one of the things they have in here, as you can see, is Lori Annis's home, and that's that home scene that they gave everybody that's like nobody uses. I can go to Spatial again. Once you see it, you'll recognize it. And this is one of those automatically generated scenes, and I'm pretty sure this is the same fate of every template-based spatial project or anything that you created through their web. Yeah, yours won't have all these bubbles in them because I made these to go to different places from. But it's a pretty little scene, but you don't even get the assets for this scene. It's just in that when I clicked that link to Lori Annis's home, it opened and then I extracted the package. All it is the JSON file. There's no assets there. And you can't extract assets from a JSON file. It's not the kind of data that's in there. So pretty sure that anything that was built on the web is lost for good. But if you did build in Unity, and this is the part that's really frustrating to me, is that you very likely already have all these assets. There's nothing that they're giving you that you probably don't already have, because if you are already a Unity developer and you've already used their SDK, then you are very likely already familiar with and storing your asset files and your projects somewhere. Evie and I were talking yesterday. She's got all of her assets are already on her, she already has them on her desktop, and so do I. So like these links are actually somewhat useless to me because I already have my old spatial projects. And I'm really not sure what to tell you there. So you'll get something like this, and I do highly encourage that you pop open your import window to see what is all in here. I wanted to do one that was very asset heavy to see what actually came in, and there is a scene here, so let's just import it and see what happens. So I did want to talk, whether you're using Vertex Form 3D or whether you just open a brand new, like if you go to the Unity Hub and create a brand new project from nothing, and you don't have like a plan for it, like where to publish it, like maybe you want to build it to a downloadable zip for itch.io distribution or something like that. You can just go click Universal 3D and create a brand new project and then import these packages that way. Or you can import them into your brand new Vertex Form 3D project, or, not to Unreality 3D project also works. So you'll need a 6.3 LTS version of Unity installed. I wouldn't worry about having the old spatial project type installed because your assets are not, your spatial scripts are going to be broken no matter what. You're going to wind up with compiling errors, and from anything that is spatial specific that is still in there. And sorry, I'm I'm a bit emotional about this whole debacle. So, but I wouldn't bother, updating or reinstalling the old spatial version if you don't of Unity if you don't have it anymore, because you're all you're going to be able to do and all you want to do here is get your assets out, your artwork, your animations, your effects, your avatars, and your scenes, and all of those are transferable. It's the spatial components that get embedded, and if you and I don't I'm hesitant to open a project that has old spatial scripts in it.
Yeah.
It would be a good example, but it will also make this stream like, yeah. So I'm trying to, let's see if we brought in the.
Can you show real quick the link to how you rebuilt that? Like yesterday was super fun, how we went from spatial to the same place in XR and LXD.
Yeah. And in fact, if you want, I mean, we could go through the same steps, because I put in. So if anyone who wants to try this, you can go to the, come on. Oh no. Sorry, my mouse is busy doing something else. You can go to the XR and LXD space, in which there is a portal here at the back. Ignore the one on the right. I mean, you can go there, but that's not what we're doing right here. This portal on the left that says travel to XR and LXD Vertex Form. It will open up in a new tab. So you won't have left here. You'll be here. And I'll let that load. I'm going to go back into Unity to see. There was just one called scene in that import, and digging for it. Oh, look at that. Lots of fun. If my brain wasn't trying to talk and show and think at the same time, I would have noted where that scene went. I think it was literally just called scene. We'll see. We'll click it and see what happens. Okay, this is my cave scene. Woo! So it's actually there. So this is an example of what you would get if this was your space, and you had clicked the download in the PDF and you had imported that you had extracted and imported that package into your Unity scene. It will, do pay better attention than I did just now to what the scene name is. It's probably just scene, and you can probably find it by searching in your project. But once you've done that twice, you'll have two scenes that are named scene, and that'll be confusing. So let me see if this has any. Okay, so here's one thumbnail camera. So this is a good example. Whew, I don't have to open up a whole spatial scene to show you. One really important thing to know is that Spatial's components were all, and let me back that up. Components are scripts that are you can use on game objects. So a game object could be a light, a point light, a cozy chair. Let me see if I can navigate to that. This is just a game object. It has a root in the project. You can right click, select prefab, select I think it's asset, and it will find it in your project and show you where it's at. You can make that into a prefab by dragging it in, but you probably don't want to do that without zeroing out your transforms, blah, blah, blah. This is all like working in Unity 101 stuff that I'm trying not to get too deep into. So on your game objects, like the thumbnail camera that they required us all to have in our scenes, and that thumbnail camera is what's rendering right here, which conflicts with the player controller camera for any package, but Vertex Form 3D that already has your player controller camera set up correctly for all 4 of those build targets that I described earlier. So it really benefits you not to mess with it or duplicate it or yeah. So you aren't going to need this thumbnail camera anymore, but coming from Spatial, you will have one in your scene because that's what was shown on the website. And they captured a snapshot and then they did the cool little 360 thing. And but so it has a component on it. That's what these little collapsible sections are. They are components. Every game object has a transform at the very least. Some game objects have other things like the chair. Let's see, no, that's the whole cave. Sorry. The chair will have a mesh and a mesh renderer, and that contains things like materials. You might have blend shapes, other goodies on your game object. Those are all components, and they're all scripts. And so when you are bringing in something from Spatial, it will come with broken, missing script references on it. And so here is an example of one. It just says script missing monoscript, has a little warning error, and that script doesn't exist in this project, so Unity was unable to find it automatically in the project and then apply it onto the game object. It was unable to automatically reassign a script where it belonged. And for this, it's really obvious that it's a thumbnail camera, so it's some kind of their proprietary code. A lot of Spatial's scripts are visual scripting, and that's why I had that project open, because I was going to show the visual scripting graph. The Vertex Form 3D project doesn't necessarily have. Evie, do you have visual scripting in there?
No, but you can install it.
Yeah. So if you want to try to work with the spatial scripts, which I can't, a lot of my partner, sweetheart, Kevin, he goes by Adjective Beaver. He was a big help in the spatial community. He worked there for a little bit before they fucked him over. Sorry, that's gonna go in I'll bleep that out of the video. So he was able to create a whole lot of custom, sorry, thank you. He was able to create a whole lot of custom interactivity using the spatial tools. So he would create entire visual script graphs, and he's worked for some of you and built stuff for you. So you may have visual script graphs that have like a spatial node as one of the parts of the graph, and so it breaks everything else. So you might have just like an on start node that feeds into a get this object variable node, and then have it do something to that, like give it a transform, like move it from here to point A to point B. That's one of the things that like he created an animation for our little prop shop that bobs the items up and down gently in the scene, and that is a simple visual scripting graph. But if it has one, and a lot of, I think they all do, coming from Spatial, they have one spatial component, like a proprietary spatial component, the whole thing breaks. And you can, I had better open that back up just so that you all can see it. You can't fix the spatial nodes because they are well, that's a little bit over my technical. I'm not sure why. They've got stuff that's proprietary, that's not distributed, it's not built into the package. So you can't just like open up their nodes and edit them and make them work again, but you can replace them. And so if there's like a reference to the spatial player controller, you can create a node that references the Vertex Form 3D player controller and slot that in the graph if you know how to edit graphs. That is all. I'm just going to start that in the background. That is all a bit extra. One of the reasons, so I started, oh, yeah, we can go back to the cool looking things. And this is a good, see the video running in the background here. This is a fully 3D 360 video. And one of the benefits of joining Evie's Discord community is, and again, that's on the Vertex Form 3D webpage, join Discord, is that one of her community members wrote a script that and provided it to all of us to make the video work in web. And so I'm just going to connect anonymously. And if anybody wants to join there, you can either go through that spatial link, or there's a link on that doc that I pasted to it, I think. Or or I can just give you, it's like my cursor goes away. Okay, so that's the space that I'm in right now. I'm going to close the spatial one so that it's not hogging attention. In fact, I can close a few of these. So if you look at the URL, this is at lorianis.github.io/xr and And that's because I was able to deploy this Vertex Form 3D framework built project to my own GitHub pages. And GitHub pages, in case you don't know, is a really cool feature of GitHub that if you are in GitHub on the web and you go to the settings tab and then you click down here in the middle to pages, you can choose to deploy from a branch. It has to be public. Your whole repo has to be public. And then I chose to deploy from the main branch. And if you have an index.html file at that main branch, and when you build from Unity for web, when you build for the web target in Unity, you get an index.html automatically built from your template that's in your Unity project. And that page will get served. So it like GitHub has default actions that build and deploy your index.html page to your GitHub pages page URL. It's a free, it's the license terms are available here. They are meant for, oh no, I don't know what that is. Oh, that's just my deployments. So anyway, join me in here. The pages are licensed for like portfolio and not for commercial use. So if you were building something on Vertex Form 3D for a client and charging them for it, you don't want to use your GitHub pages. You want to use the Vercel or your own hosting workflow that Evie recommends. But the hosting side is all beyond this particular subject. So I'm going to just go into that auditorium space. Easy to transfer files through FileZilla to any hosting provider, right? Yeah. So once you've built from within Vertex in your Vertex Form 3D project, once you've you followed all the steps, you want to do your platform selection to make sure that you're building towards the right target. And there's a different flow after that for each platform target. So for VR, you're building an APK file, and that goes into your hub. That's what you upload here. So I upload. Oh, I never got to saying. So there's alpha, beta, release candidate, and production. And Evie can talk more about like doing that. She's gone through all the steps to get a production version out, but even in alpha, you can share that link that I shared somewhere in that. So this is I provided these as examples. So this is the Quest app link, and it takes you to the MetaQuest page, and you have to click join, and you have to agree that you understand that you're trying out an alpha product, so it hasn't been tested by Meta. But it's really nice that you can share this link and people can install the app directly into their headset and access it through there, even though it's only an alpha. But to get it to the production, you have to pass a bunch of Meta tests. I'm not going to go into that. So I'm in here. This is the Vertex Form 3D built, like I built it on the Vertex Form 3D framework. I imported the assets. The skybox that's in the spatial space isn't available, so I found a freebie on Polyhaven. If you don't know about Polyhaven, I highly recommend it. They've got, they started out with sharing. Oh, hi, Abby. They started sharing just like skyboxes, but now it's this whole sponsor user supported free assets library that you can download, and I highly recommend contributing to because it keeps it all coming, and it's super high quality assets. So I downloaded this beautiful sky from there, and so I also recreated a screen share. Oh yeah, I think that a screen share. Yeah, yesterday we were having trouble with it. It wouldn't work, and I thought it was because of my mic usage. So since I'm already doing a live stream, I'm not sure that the screen sharing will work in here, but you might be able to get it to work if you just reload the page. But this is literally built in Vertex Form 3D. And did I link it in here? I didn't. I can. I took it, I did, and then I took it out because it's not Vertex Form 3D like only. Like you can sorry. You can follow these steps. This is just a page. This is another GitHub page. I'm like totally addicted to publishing stuff on GitHub pages now that I know how easy it is to do. So you can download a Unity package that I put together that includes the Unity side scripts that you need. And then it links to the GitHub so you can see all the files on there. But it has instructions for how to get screen sharing working on your own. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not like bam, bam, bam. It involves going to Vercel and setting up a Vercel app. But I tried to handhold as much as possible on how to, well, in the Live Kit server. Live Kit is, so all of these are like third-party services. So Photon is a third-party service that provides the multiplayer, and your interaction with them is completely not, on the Vertex Form 3D like responsibility side. But she makes it easy to get you in there so that all you have to do is paste a string of letters into a form field. It makes it super easy on that side, but it's all your accounts. You have full control over which of these services you use. And so LiveKit server is what handles screen sharing. It's completely independent of any of us here. And then Vercel is also a free, and you can pay for commercial use, but it's also a free account, and so you can get it running. And I would not recommend sharing it with like the World Wide Web, like just with no guardrails, because it'll use up your account limits and so forth. But for a community that you support, this is a fantastic way to get screen sharing in. And it's not terribly easy to get it working just in VR. So I'm not even trying. Anyway, that's a freebie I put out. Y'all can and check out. But so if you navigate, some of this is outdated, like Evie has already updated from when I built this. So so when she sees it, she's like, oh no, the menu is wrong.
Yesterday, I was like, wait, we fixed this part already. Like we did create package updater. So, and you guys, like Lori, like everyone is helping us this workflow. How do we make sure that we don't break your customization when we provide updates? So,
Yeah, and that's
Mark,
it here. In the Vertex Form 3D project, there's a Vertex Form 3D menu at the top, and there's a package updater, and I just haven't done it because I break things. So.
set up GitHub, and then you can pull it. Because it's super important that we guys like find the flow to update. Yeah.
And here it is. It finally started, like that thing that I started this morning, like 7 o'clock this morning. It's finally in here. So then it's tracked in GitHub, which is really nice. And yeah, definitely if you're afraid of GitHub, join Evie's meeting next month. I might offer to give some tips. I have a slideshow and stuff about it working with GitHub, but so you can, everything that works is because of what Evie built. So
well, it's not just me. You keep saying Evie. We had a whole team, and it's been a road, guys, because we were like preparing for this day. So it's been a big road.
So I kept in some of the scenes that she provides by default, the bright scene, the dark scene, the ocean villa, the campfire. I added my own, the bare bones fireworks scene and this auditorium. But it comes, oh, I forgot. It comes with your new project comes with, where would I go to show all the things that it comes with? It comes with scenes in.
Yeah, you can open places, and this is where you add your stuff. And by the way, in the new update, we're gonna have, you can reposition the panels, not just worlds inside one panel, but you can add more panels. Like you can have a bunch, and then plus you can move them around. So that's like gonna be really nice. But
So
if you're
I've been
looking
all
for
over the
the
place. Oh, sorry.
if
What
you're
were you
looking
gonna?
for the roasting, they're inside the database scene folder.
In the what scene?
Database folder.
The database scenes. Okay, yeah. And I've yeah, so there's all of these example spaces already, they all come packaged in this folder that she just described, Vertex Form 3D database scenes. And so they're broken out by their type, their category, and you can visit them. You can keep them built in. They come already available, accessible in your scene datas. Where's the okay, so if you go to build addressables groups, so in here they come already in here. I've removed some because I didn't want to package all of those scenes into the XR and LXT group scenes. But that's another like example of how flexible this is. So yours, when you open it, will have more scenes available. Is everybody glitching or is it just me? My screen looks like it's glitching out.
No, nothing glitching here.
Okay. So this is my own project, but I wanted to show you the a spatial polluted visual scripting graph. Let's see how to script. While I'm looking for a visual scripting graph to show people. Oh, that's right. I was working on the E3 cake. Cake shield. That's just a particle effect.
I had a question.
Yes, please. Okay. So here's a visual script that's actually still there. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so for multiplayer we are using Photon, right?
You're using Photon.
So
okay.
for what are we using for audio and video?
Also Photon.
For video, you're using streaming assets. It just it doesn't come with Photon.
Video it's an
yeah.
asset. It's a video asset in your project. It's not. Yeah.
Okay. And do we have any database for it? What are we using for it?
Do we have a database folder?
Are we using any database like Firebase or something?
Firebase. I am.
We're not using anything, so we have the only thing that we're using is the addressable system to where you can put them everything in the remote and then put it on your own cloud.
Yeah, if you are using Firebase, you can use Firebase to be the host for your remote assets, for the addressable remote assets. Yes, I've used Firebase for that.
Okay, yeah. And for avatar customization, like Spatial was using Ready Player Me extensions. So do you have your own avatar system or are you using any plugin?
So the VertexForm 3D avatar system right now is just a head and a body, and then the hands that come with that are the quest. So there's no avatar system in there.
We actually spent a lot of time implementing Ready Player Me, and just before we were ready to release it.
Yeah, I understand.
Right now
I understand. That is
there is a lot of different avatar providers that we can that can be used here. Right now we have a very easy. Lori customized, she brought her own avatars, but this is something on our roadmap. Right now we just wanted to make sure that you guys can drop your own avatars, and yeah.
And
yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, I was just curious.
But to toot my own horn a little bit, I do support full articulated avatars in the Unreality 3D project. So if you're interested in having a full body avatar, and Evie and I are always talking, if I can help bring that to Vertex Form 3D in the future, I will. It's a lot though, and part of it's because to support having my brain is blanking. What is it when you're in VR and your hands are working?
Like just call it probably cross-platform avatar system. Hand mechanics.
Yeah, the
hand tracking.
Hand tracking, thank you. That was
Yeah,
all I was trying to think of. Like to support that is its own whole branch of all of these working pieces. And
yeah.
yeah, so you can easily I was able to easily swap in 3D objects into the Vertex Form 3D. So I made ridiculous
Yeah,
little
that that makes perfect sense. I was just curious about it. And which extension are you using for the avatars?
ex I'm not using an extension.
Okay, so it's just a custom avatar system.
So we have a
So
built-in avatar, and she made them in Blender, right?
yeah, this is
Okay,
this
okay, okay.
this is the Vertex Form 3D. In the main UI database, you can slot in new avatar parts, and it's literally just a
Yeah,
mesh head and a mesh body, and they have to have the same um, origins in the 3D software that they're coming from so that they are lined up correctly on the avatar. But if you're in Vertex Form 3D, oh no, it's the home scene. Um, there's uh there's prefabs you can dig into if you want to see how it's constructed. It's quite complex, and it's highly discouraged to really mess around with it unless you're really technically
yeah, yeah.
savvy about the rigs. For Unreality 3D, you can literally just drop in a rigged avatar um, into the so if you look at player controller, um, if you look in the prefab, there is a avatar manager. You just drag in your preferred rigged humanoid avatar, but it does have to be a rigged humanoid avatar.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, I only wanted to show this to show the visual graph. This is something that my partner Kevin Adjective Beaver built to handle an event where when you walk into the cake, it zaps you and throws you back, and it's funny and it's silly. We do all kinds of like surreal, bizarre shit just to be funny. Anyway, and it came with this spatial, and it's somewhat self-explanatory. You'll when you open up a visual scripting graph that has spatial components, you'll see this bright red broken component, and it'll somewhat, this says add force to local avatar node. If you it was already wired in. All I did was right click to disconnect it, and now everything that works will work. This part doesn't work. The multiplying force doesn't work, but that's okay. Like the zap works. It was actually kind of alarming when I tested it out. And I can show you. Um is there any other, like, I want to keep this like spatial migration focused. Oh, and one of the links that I shared in that document is the migration tools that I've put together. And this is with no warranty, no guarantee that this works, but these are scripts that I've been using to clean up my own projects. And I made them into a Unity package you can install in your project, and then it pops up the migration tools under tools, Unreality 3D migration tools panel, and you can then go through and scan for missing scripts, and it will highlight them in the scene. And you can either replace, one of the things that I wanted to do, and that's why I wrote the script, is to be able to replace missing scripts so that the game object itself doesn't have to get deleted, and all of its other working components don't get deleted. It just puts something, a placeholder in there that makes it a lot able to the whole project, it makes it able to compile which is your main blocking point when you import spatial stuff and it has spatial scripts that are broken, you may not be able to even push play to see what's working because you'll have compilation errors. Big red warnings will come up in the console and at the bottom of the screen that say you must fix these errors before you can push play or before playing will work. And so I'm not going to go one by one, but I highly encourage that you like look and read what's available because there's a few workflows here. There's replacing a missing reference in place, so it leaves the missing script there, but it just has like a dummy placeholder script in it so that you can see what was on there, like and guess like maybe this was an interact node that is now, or not node, but an interact script that's no longer there. Or maybe this is a quest script. The whole quest system had a lot of tendrils into your scenes. So if you had like, go collect 20 coins, then all of the coins out or the coin dispensers out there will have like their spatial code on them, and then it will be broken. And then I like the replacing them in place option because it gets your scene working and then you can go one by one. And Evie's toolkit provides a lot of replacement functionality. So if you want to make something grabbable again, that you used to be able to grab in Spatial, you can go in her toolkit and find the game object stuff, or if you want to make something be sittable, or if you want to make a surface that you can teleport on it, and so forth. So, yeah, I feel like that was a good like overview, and I'd love to have, if I can, answer any questions. Oh, we're already at an hour and 30, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
No, it's
So
okay.
I'm still available if there's any questions remaining, but and I'm sorry about all the swears and stuff.
No worries.
I am a little bit emotional about the whole ordeal.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there's no questions at all. Definitely join Abby's server, because it's not just her and her developers, it's also all of us in the community, and we are a notoriously helpful group. And
Yeah, we just wanna see the apps running, and we just have to get used to being our own metaverse platform, right? We're done going on people's third-party platforms. We just want to keep it going. But
yeah,
do you
and
guys
when
have
you
any?
say our own platform, I mean like each of us as a
Yeah,
creator, we want to own our own, like our communities are not dependent on and being dropped by some faceless like organization that doesn't care about our community. So yeah, that's using these kind of tools is really helpful to get you back to that.
it was so awesome, Lori. Thank you so much. Do you guys have any comments or questions? Anything you want to say?
I put everybody to sleep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mama.
Very quiet group today.
Yeah.
End of June, everybody's like summered out heat. But I will put it on our YouTube, and hopefully that you guys can start building, join community, share what you build, and help each other.
Yeah, and visit those links, and so you can
Yeah.
get a sense of what's possible.
I will share those links also on Discord and the recording as well.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate you coming and sharing your knowledge with us today, Laura. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank you very much to you as well. It was a very thorough, it
it.
was pretty good.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you,
And
Mustafa.
and
Thank you for
please
the
from my
opportunity.
side say thanks to the adjacent Beaver. He has helped me quite a lot.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Join
very
our
much.
Discord. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.